In this 171-page kit, your students will learn how to make healthier choices through dozens of tasks that guide good choices and that also examine cause and effect of choices made in biographies such as When Breath Becomes Air, the best-selling book that teens love because a person with good drive and a good brain gets everything he wants and then faces the prospect of an early death. What kind of choices did he make before this and after this? And how did that impact his life? Students are also brought through other stories and other texts which are non-fictional, and they're geared to motivate teens and teach them to make healthier choices using these materials. You can also use any biography materials. I've given many answer keys for When Breath Becomes Air, this very new and best-selling biography, but they can choose many biographies or many nonfiction texts. There are others included here, many texts on the brain and things that interest teens that they can choose as materials to do these tasks that impact the choice made both by characters in the nonfiction texts and also by themselves. They should constantly be able to relate the tasks to both themselves and characters in your lesson plan nonfiction text. Students will see things, for example, that possibilities thinkers do differently. Why do they choose differently? They'll learn why they choose differently, how they choose differently, and they'll have practice trying to make choices under these influences. They also find these choices in the texts they're reading. Here the answer key is given for the bibliography When Breath Becomes Air, but they can use any text or autobiography or biography, and also their own experiences. Students will begin to see how their brain shapes their choices in very exciting ways. They'll learn how the basal ganglia stores all the choices they keep making over and over and how to stop the wrong choices from constantly surfacing. They'll learn how to fuel well-being for better choices, how to improve their brain by creating new neuron pathways for different choices, how to store emotional responses that they would like to see come up and repeat themselves as opposed to the ones that now come as knee-jerk reactions. They'll learn how to replace risk and adventure with fears and problems unless they're careful to avoid the cortisol chemicals that are described in this kit. They'll also learn how to focus their attention on new facts that relate to a goal they are trying to set and therefore help them to make focused and healthy choices. This particular set of materials is consistently relating to the texts that you are using in any lesson, be it a literature, literary text, a bibliography, a history, or science text. But the students also create a culture where choices count. They'll take a new look at how problems surface only for those who make wrong choices as opposed to healthy choices. And they'll learn how specifically and pragmatically problems fade from view when they focus on workaround choices and have endless practice through task after task, dozens of tasks, to make these workaround choices and to see how characters have cause and effect from choices that went well or choices that brought poor results. Our students today are making choices for opioids, choices for discouragement, depression, poor relationships, abuse of one another and themselves, simply because we're not teaching how to make healthy choices. My materials, all brain-based, allow students to make healthy choices in any topic you teach, and these students can be accessed in this. Do leave a brief positive review if you find these choice-making materials helpful, but also contact me if there are any other ways that my brain-based materials could address your student needs, because I'd be honored to help in any way that I can come alongside you and your students. Please leave a comment or a question on the Ask a Question tab, which is to the right of the rating tab on my TPT site. The site's called Ellen Weber Brain-Based Tasks for a Growth Mindset. I hope these choice-making materials and bibliography answer keys bring the kind of support that you and your students deserve for the best choices yet.